Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another live stream. Wycombe are beaten at last. Wrexham are into the top two as Birmingham City drop points at home. Bolton Wanderers back to winning ways, 3 points, 3 goals, and a very, very chirpy co-host. Go on, the Bolton Wanderers. Ian Everett is back, ladies and gentlemen, to join me for a extra bonus League One Live. And this is the third one in 8 days. We've still got another one, so it's going to be 4 in about 11 days. To join me is our co-host, Mr. Jack Kershaw. Jake Tong. Hello, Jake. You all right, mate?
Do I look all right? No, I'm having an existential crisis at the moment, Ben. I'm having sleepless nights. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy 2025. Can't wait.
Yeah. New year, new me, new manager. 9 points off the playoffs, 9 points off relegation. We're all going on a League Two tour again. There we are. Hello, Sue. I hope you're well. She's got a new profile picture. Hello, look at that.
Yeah.
Hello, David. Hope you're well.
That is chirpy.
Absolutely. We've got a very decent weekend as well. Please get us done out the way, Ben. I beg. Well, what can I say?
We're not even first, Jack, because it was a game that finished 4-4, so we don't stand a chance, unfortunately.
I tried to do the running order a little bit different. I tried to put important games at the top. So like CHARLTON Wycombe was a shock, and I thought, well, it's a decent game, isn't it? How was your trip to Horwich?
Do you know what, Ben? It was actually quite nice. We got up there, I drove, got parked up.
Oh Christ.
I was what's the word? The hospitality was excellent from the Fan Zone podcast. Our friends Chris and Cole came and met me outside the club shop, had a nice beer and a pizza in the Fan Zone, which is home fans only. But this man managed to get his way in. Yeah, I mean, that was lovely. I mean, if you'd have cut the afternoon off there, I reckon it might have been decent. Like, nice drive, nice easy drive, nice cider in the Fan Zone, good old banter with Chris and Cole, and Timberlake and McQuaid also came in. First time I've met McQuaid, not met him previously. And then it all just goes downhill, really.
Yeah.
And it's the blame of one man, and I'll get on to it later. But he's a prat, and we lost. So well done, Bolton. Oh yeah, I had a nice free KFC. So thank you very much, Sarah, for donating me Noah's KFC because he wasn't very well. So fantastic.
You always land up on your feet, you boy. Find something for free. That's what I love about you.
I'm always an opportunist, mate. I'm like a striker with channel balls. I won't stop until I get one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. My weekend was. It was all
right. Yeah. How was your weekend? Sorry.
Yeah, it was all right. Thanks very much for asking. It was frustrating because we should have won the game yesterday. There's no doubt in my mind that yet again we've come away missing a penalty. Frustrated, but things to build on. Look, it's another season in League Two, in my opinion, but a lot better. 4 points from 2. Thing is, I came into this month thinking, right, okay, Swindon away, win, we lost. Accrington at home, win, we drew. Barrow away, win, we lost. Chesterfield at home, lose, get a point. Good 1-2-0. Harrogate at home, win, drew. So very frustrated, but
December's,
it is what it is.
December's rubbish, mate. December's are absolute rubbish. It's all about, and I've told you, don't look at the table until the end of the season. I've told you this for ages, haven't I?
Yeah, you have, yeah. And yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. Well, late Christmas. Hope you had a good one. Happy New Year. Like the show if you haven't already as well. Subscribe. We're going to get into it. Exeter City 4, CRAWLEY 4. Exeter to fight back from a 4-1 deficit to draw 4-4 in a thrilling, unbelievable clash at St James's Park. Pursuit Kamara did put the home side in front. Ali with a good response as well. But then Swan, Shorami, and then Junior Katurna added goals just before the break as well. Junior Katurna, who's hardly played in recent months as well, had to fight for his place and got back into it. Struggled to get a start in that Fleetwood Town team last year as well. Vincent Harper scored an absolute screamer. Woods, and then Dimitri Mitchell finds himself, well, free, but also off Twitter for the day as he equalises for the Grecians just before the end of the game, a 93rd minute equaliser. A very good point for Exeter. For Crawley, it's disappointing because you look at it now, that's no result in 4. They've lost 3 of those. If they would have won that, they could have gone up to 19th, brought Northampton back into it. And that's 40 goals conceded for Crawley, which is a bit of a worry. And away from home, they just look like they're getting the ground swallowed up a little bit. But for Exeter, solid point. And how tight this league is, they're only 6 points off Stockport County, and they've got a game in hand.
Yeah, no, it was a weird one. I don't know if you saw, Ben, the Crawley fan that retweeted the halftime sort of announcement that it was halftime, when it was 4-1 to Crawley, saying we might get a draw out of this, and they did. They got a point. You'd be frustrated, wouldn't you, if you're Crawley? I mean, you go away, you play that well in the first half, completely dominate the game in every aspect. They score some good goals as well. 4 different goal scorers. Shawunmi is a really interesting one. I think he's scored a lot of goals in recent weeks. He'll be a real bright light for Crawley. And Kamara scoring. We know how good Kamara can be at this level. We've seen it with Plymouth, maybe not so much Ipswich, but he's certainly a decent player for this level. But you do have to question some of the defending for some of the goals afterwards in the second half from Crawley. And they've got this in them, haven't they? A capitulation where they may be in winning positions and they've dropped points. Vincent Harper, Ryan Woods, Demi Mitchell, all getting involved, all on the score sheet. It's a great point for Exeter, 4-1 down to draw 4-4. And like you say, Ben, they're in a really advantageous position in the league table. But Crawley, you've got to be kicking yourself, haven't you? 4-1 up away from home, completely in the driver's seat, and to defend in the manner that they did. I wouldn't even say that's League 2 defending. That's probably National League South defending, Ben. That's how bad it was. You look at the amount of space that some of the Exeter players have got in order to score. So yeah, disappointing for Crawley. Exeter, they'll feel like obviously they'll be absolutely buzzing with that comeback, and it will feel like a win for Exeter. But yeah, really good position for them in the table and a really good opportunity for them to go and see if they can get in the playoff mix.
Yeah, Crawley have only lost 2 of the last 8 visits to St James's Park. And it's the first time that Crawley have scored 4 goals in the first half of an EFL match for the first time in their history. But being 4-1 up, that, I think, at the end of the season is a moment where we go, that is the moment that Crawley Town got relegated. Because if they'd have won that, to go on 22 points after 22 games, 6 wins, that's a solid start. It really is as well. And especially when you look at clubs around them, Burton Albion, Shrewsbury, Bristol Rovers, Northampton, all changing manager. Cambridge and them, the only ones to kind of stick. But we're seeing a point gap really determined now. And look, that could be big, I think, for them as well. I think it's going to be disappointing, to say the least. Now, I don't think anyone expected this when they woke up. But Miles Leeburn, yet again, he previously got a goal and assist in his previous 2 games. And we'd said when he was out injured how important he was to Charlton Athletic and how important he's been since coming back into the side. It's Charlton's earliest goal in the second half since January 2023, where the last scored against Bolton Wanderers 22 seconds in to the first half as well. Wycombe did pull one back 6 minutes before time through Richard Coney's 12th goal of the season in Sky Bet League One as well. For Charlton, that's 3 wins in 3 now, a very good festive period, and takes them just 4 points outside the playoffs. They've taken a possible 8 points from their last 5 games. But again, good return, doing well. And, a couple of weeks ago, they were questioning Nathan Jones's methods, but when it wins games of football, it wins. And you look at the sides around them, they've got a decent little record against sides, in and around them, and good win for them. Wycombe is the first defeat in 20 games. It was always going to come. The big question now is, Jake, the comeback where Fleetwood went 18 games unbeaten in League One. It rocked them a little bit. You know, when you see sides going on these unbelievable runs, it rocks you a little bit. And I'm sure when Lincoln, after they went on that unbelievable run last year, as soon as you lost a game, you're thinking, how do we react?
Wigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real turning
And then we
point
went away to Oxford and got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That went
Thanks,
well.
Ben. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, that feels like an awful long time ago. Yeah, great win for Charlton. I was watching this via a broken television in the Bolton fan zone yesterday afternoon. I agree with you, Ben. I completely agree. You know, Miles Leaburn. I don't know about when you first. I can always remember when I first see a player that I've seen around on social media and heard the name, and then they come down to Central Bank and you see them in the flesh. Miles Leaburn, I remember seeing him for the first time a couple of years ago. I think he was 18 or 19 because he's 21 now, isn't he? I just thought that man is a freak. In every aspect, he's quick, he's tall, he's powerful, he's strong. I watched him in the warm. He can finish. And yesterday you saw that in abundance. A really good brace for him. Good to see Edwards and Berry both get assists. But it was a quick fire double that took the game away from Wycombe. And to be honest, you know, the first half was pretty even, but the second half, Charlton sort of dominated. And once they'd gone 2-0 up, we always know that Nathan Jones' teams are pretty difficult to claw back once they've got an advantage such as that. And Wycombe found it difficult. Richard QNA obviously being the only bright spot for them. But yeah, you're completely right, Ben, about Wycombe. You know, that's one defeat in 20-odd games. What will be important now? They slipped out of the top two for the first time, pretty much, in what feels like all season. We'll have to see how they react now. And looking at the fixtures coming up, you know, looking at New Year's, they've got Exeter on Wednesday, and then they've got Blackpool, Huddersfield, and Mansfield, Northampton, and Barnsley to wrap up the month. So it's not a tough month, but it's certainly one that they'll feel they can get some points from. Yeah, really good win for Charlton. Really respectable win, and yeah, be really intrigued to see how Wycombe react. I also think, Ben, with some of the vacancies in the Championship being filled, it maybe gives Matt Bloomfield a bit of peace of mind that he's going to be at Wycombe certainly at till the end of the season at the very earliest. You know, gives them a chance to prep for the upcoming window and to really push on and try and get this club automatically promoted to the Championship, which is, if you'd have said that to a Wycombe fan 12 months ago, they probably would have laughed at you. So, yeah, great progress, but a slight blip in the road for them yesterday.
It was. It's a brilliant run they've been on. You know, Charlton had only won one of the last 6 league games against Wycombe going into this. And again, Wycombe struggled away at Charlton. You know, normally, you know, Charlton normally struggle going to Wycombe, and then Wycombe normally struggle going to the Valley as well. But again, it's vital that Wycombe go into that. But Wycombe have just won one of their last 7 final league games of the actual 2024 year. Last beating Cardiff in 2020. So maybe they, again, going back to Boxing Day, maybe not good on this certain day going into it as a football club as a whole as well. Keep your questions coming in. Keep them rolling as well. Goals galore. Now, if you want goals, you go to Peterborough. They've been involved in 82 goals this year, scoring 39, conceding 43. Pines, Keeler Dunn and Russell for the away side. And then Malik Mothersill. Barnsley going away at Bolton Wanderers and Peterborough and getting 6 points. 2 sides that were in the playoffs last year. And Barnsley just outside those playoffs. We are 23 games in, they've won 10, which is a really good return. Solid return, what you expect. 7 defeats, 6 draws. Look, 36 points. They're going to have to up it a little bit because they played the game more than Reading and are a point behind. I do think they are better than Stockport County. Now you take Louis Barry out of the equation. And I do think Barnsley are really in a serious promotion rush. It's just that home form. They absolutely battered Peterborough yesterday. 15 shots to 3 tells you everything you need to know. 6 on target to 2. And in every department, they were just better than Peterborough. I thought defensively, again, Peterborough just looked weak, vulnerable. And you've got to question the style of play. And I don't know what to say about this Peterborough side anymore. They are so far off it. They're 13 points off the playoffs. That's not even in a question. This side is the bottom 8 side at this moment in time. They're 4 points above the bottom area, and people keep saying they're too good to go down. Well, they keep getting ripped apart. You know, Conclot, Jones, Mothersill, good players. Collins, Cipriano, good players. But again, Katongo, Walling, Fernandez, Sparks as a back four, I don't think are great. DeGivernay at the back for Barnsley, solid as a rock. Pines is absolute rock as well. I thought Phillips, Connell and Russell in midfield. I think Russell has been an absolute outstanding for them this year at times as well. And Keeler Duncan cut inside, score goals as well. And Barnsley know the jobs very well. Peterborough seem to be all over the place and seem to be a bit frantic, whereas Barnsley are very solid. You know what you're going to get. And I'd say Peterborough is a bit like a restaurant you've never been before, and Barnsley's a bit like a Wetherspoons. You know exactly what you're going to get. It's not great. It's not got the quality you might want at times, but it's solid enough and it'll get you through.
Be careful, Ben. That's your employer you're talking about.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up! If my area manager is watching, hello.
Hello, up the Whites, I think. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Ben. Barnsley completely played Peterborough off the park yesterday. They had opportunities before going a goal up. And to be honest, they were toying with Peterborough a little bit. And I predicted goals galore in this one, and we absolutely got it. Something about Barnsley just away from home, aren't they? You know, going to Bolton and Peterborough, 2 tricky games on paper. You know, the other playoff teams that lost last season, including Barnsley. And to go and get 6 points just shows, I think, how far they've come under Darryl Clark, certainly in the last couple of weeks. It's a really good return. And the performance level yesterday was just extremely high. When you've got Davis Keeler-Dunn making an impact like he is now, John Russell, who, to be honest, Ben, his career has been, it felt a little bit like it was meandering a little bit towards mediocrity, but he's really stepped up since coming into to Barnsley from Huddersfield, and has made that defensive midfield role his own, because then that allows Luca Connell, it allows Adam Phillips, it allows Davis Keeler-Dunn to go a little bit more free and a little bit more creative, and I think you see that certainly when they're away from home. I agree with you about Barnsley at home, that they really need to try and suss that one out. But once they do, Ben, I think they'll be. I think if they get the home form sorted out, this Barnsley team could probably be as good as Huddersfield, in my opinion. You're also then looking at Peterborough, like you say, and I know it's excuses, but the summer window really killed Peterborough, and it really killed their season. We talk about the cycle all the time. Well, to me, this feels like a new low for Peterborough, given where they are in the table. I really do fear for them and their fans. Whether they're too good to go down, I don't know. I well and truly think that they're well in amongst the race. And you look across the board, they've not got characters that are used to staying up. When you compare it to maybe like a Northampton, or you compare it to someone like a Cambridge, where they've got experience in that squad of staying up, I'm not sure I'd back this Peterborough team to do that. So, yeah, really good win for Barnsley. For Peterborough, alarm bells are going off. They need to have a really good window if they're going to salvage this season. I think the playoffs and any talk of promotion is out of the race. It's going to be a case of, similar to Oxford, Ben, a couple of years ago, if you can remember, under Carl Robinson, where they were really pouring towards the bottom. They brought in Liam Manning and just about stayed up. It feels like Peterborough having a similar season to Oxford then.
I do agree with you what you say. When you say about Northampton, Crawley, Shrewsbury, Burton, these are teams that I know on players-wise that Burton brought a lot of players in, but you think Morley that they bring in to scrap, to be competitive and try and be firefighters a little bit, whereas Peterborough are very luxury. Do you know what I mean? It's very much like putting luxury, like someone that's used to staying in 5-star hotels into a 2-star in Blackpool. Do you know what I mean? It's very much
having
like
a Tesco finest lasagna al forno and eat it in a cardboard box on the street. That's what it's
exactly,
like.
and it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. And look, there's still a long way to go in this season. I think Barnsley are solid. They're unbeaten in the last 5 at London Road, winning 3 and scored 11 goals in the process as well. There's 50 people in the chat. If you could give us a like and a subscription, that'd be appreciated. My mother's in the chat, so hello to my mum as well. Hope you're all well in the chat as well. Get your question in. We will be answering them later on in the show. Bolton Wanderers 3, Lincoln City 0. Bolton Wanderers back to winning ways and just what they needed at home as well. It's been a little bit of a while. Bolton Wanderers expect to win games of football. Again, we talked about their record. It's their 19th victory, actually, in 43 Sky Bet League One games this season in 2024. However, they have lost 7 in their last 19, which is the bit of an issue as well. Bolton Wanderers actually unbeaten in their last 7 games against Lincoln City, winning 6 of those in the process, drawing the other one. Across that run, the Trotters have also kept 5 clean sheets, winning the last 2 3-0. And Lincoln City have failed to win any of their last 5 league games against Bolton since a 2-0 victory on Jake's 20th birthday back in 1984.
Hey, we beat them 5-1 a couple of years ago.
5 league away games. Away games.
Away.
Yeah.
I'm very much down on aggregate in terms of trips to Bolton, so I can't.
Mate, so I've been to Bolton Wanderers 7 times, and I think we've got an aggregate score of 22-8, something like that. We've lost 4-2 there, 3-1 there, 2-1 there, 2-1 there again, 1-0 there. We've honestly, I think it's my worst ground. That and Blackpool. Been to Blackpool 6 times. With Fleetwood and Bolton 7 times, and we've lost all 13 games as well.
I was going to ask you something, but I'll resist.
I've played out my wardrobe, and there's some old pictures in there. Believe me.
Anyway, do you want my input, Ben?
Yeah, I do. But before we do come to it as well, let's just Lincoln City. There's a lot to be frustrated about. You're down to 12th. However, you're 6 points off the playoffs. However, you look at it in those last 6 games, losing 3, drawing 2.
Awful.
It's small margins, but this is a squad that's won 8, drawn 7, lost 8. Typical mid-table squad, a -1 goal difference. And I don't know. There's just something missing at the moment. When you've been in games, you've been in games. But yesterday, I thought Bolton Wanderers were with 16 shots to 7, Jake. You know, he scored with every shot on target. He hit the bar. Game of Tete, unbelievable. The former Fleetwood man himself, my mate, coming to haunt my other mate. Well, co-host.
Yeah, yesterday they dominated, but that's completely down to game state, Ben. First off, I actually thought we were okay. We weren't spectacular, but we probably had the same amount of chances as Bolton. The first goal is awful to concede. Porty shouldn't dawdle on the ball where he does. Aaron Collins then just waltzes towards the goal, and Sue's going to hate me. George Wiggins should save it, and it's not the first time I've said that this season.
Read the room.
George Wiggins will be a very good goalkeeper for us, but he made a mistake yesterday. And then you get to half time, Ben, and you think 1-0 down away at Bolton, 11 men on the pitch, you're in the game. You know, you're not because it only takes 1 half chance to score a goal, Ben. Do you know what I mean? It only takes one, and the Pratt, Ethan Arahan, gets sent off 2 yellow cards for dissent. I can understand if it's 2 yellow cards for 2 stupid tackles, right?
That is brilliant.
Yeah,
that is brilliant. David Lloyd.
Exactly. But Bolton 1-0 down with 10 men. I said on Boxing Day, Ben, Gareth Ainsworth's teams are the worst team to go a goal down to because they waste time, they're effective, they kick you, they hit you, whatever. Bolton are the worst team to go a man down to because the way that they play the ball, they move it left to right very well, and Bolton did that well in the second half, and it maybe should have been more than 3. Maybe 3-0 flatters us a little bit, right? But what frustrates me is that at 1-0 down, you're in the game, and Ethan gets sent off needlessly. 2 yellow cards for dissent, and Ethan's a great player, Ben. I tell you all the time how good Ethan Arahan is, right? You must get bored of me telling you how good he is. But his mouth...
I just did that with another player, though, so it's all right.
He's not as good. He's not as good, though.
Never said he was as good. With League 2 quality.
His attitude...
Go to a League 1 club this year. But I think when we're doing League 1...
Listen. His attitude and his mouth and his gobbing off will mean that he won't play any higher. Because clubs will not take a risk on him. Clubs will not want a player to lose the head every... You look at his bookings Ben.
That just seems to me like a desperation of, just look, clubs, don't take him. Don't take him. He's got.
You know what? A lot of our
Tell you
fans have
what,
said,
clubs, look at
take
Brendan
him.
Woodward's injury record. He's got a really bad left foot.
Look,
That left foot triggers him.
Look, I'm not saying Bolton didn't deserve it, because they absolutely did deserve it. However, we put it on a silver platter for them and oiled it up, and we basically said go for it, and that's what's frustrating. Because, to be honest, Ben, and I won't make any friends saying this, Bolton are not very good. Bolton are not a good side. I watched Bolton yesterday, and I thought they are probably not even 50% of the team that I went and saw there last year. Not maybe 50% to stretch. And we could have got something from the game had we had 11 men on the pitch, but Ethan completely ruined it. And for me, the blame is on Ethan. I didn't understand the subs from Michael either. I've questioned his subs for a couple of weeks now. They don't change the game at all. Yeah, I'm disappointed. Bolton deserved to win. They were good. They were very good when they went down we went down to 10. Jay Matete was unbelievable, Ben. You'll be glad to know. He had another one
he's a little
where
dancer, and the way that he can just pick up little pockets, get the ball, and Danny Mayer tries to do this, but Jay Matete is unbelievable. The ball is glued to that boy's feet, and that is his best strength.
Yeah, it is.
He's just so tippy tappy, and he's wow.
I mean, his first goal was quite fortunate because it deflects about 5 times on its way in. But such is life. But he did have one, I think it was second half, where he's about 30 yards out, and he strikes it, and I thought, oh my God, he scored from about 35 yards. It hit the post and went out. So, look, it's upsetting. The run we're on is upsetting. The fact we're down to 12th, I'm not happy with it. Because we came on before Christmas and we're in the playoffs, and now we look a million miles off it. We need to have a very good January in order to stay in the race. If not, we are a middle of the run League One team, and we have to understand that. What really annoys me, Ben, is the board and the chief exec, and everyone talks about promotion. We're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near it.
I get that. And I said at the start of the year, I think Lincoln City are probably the 8th or the 9th best team in the division. I think that's been fair so far. I think that you've been a bit harsh in some of the metrics. I think that if Lincoln City would have won that game, everyone would have been the best player in the world. And now you're coming on here.
But they didn't. They were rubbish.
I know they didn't, but I think that I'm a big believer in never get too low, never get too high. You've also got Bolton Wanderers who haven't been in good form, but are Bolton Wanderers. And I mean, this is a Bolton Wanderers team yesterday, mate, that had Baxter, who was one of the best goalkeepers in the division last year, Toll, who has been outstanding for the last 18 months, Ricardo Santos, who got in League One team of the season and League Two team of the season every year. He's been at Bolton Wanderers. George Johnson is one of the most solid players that they've got. Darcy's Cogley has struggled this year and isn't, what they had previously in Bradley. I get that. Sean has been outstanding as he's coming in. Thomason is like you're saying, Ethan Arahan, yellow card waiting to happen, but loves the football club. Jay Matete he's either been a 9 or a 6, but again, he's floating. McAtee and Collins are similar players, but are good players on the day. And this is a team that had the likes of Forrester, Dion Charles, Carlos Gomez on the bench as well. It's coming back from injury. It's a strong squad. It's Bolton Wanderers, and it's been struggling. It's lost its way. They've still won half the games nearly, mate. They've still scored 32 goals. They're still 3 points off 5th. So they have lost the way, but it's still Bolton Wanderers. I think at times there's context. Bolton Wanderers expect more than Lincoln City. Bolton Wanderers team is better than Lincoln City's. And I think maybe going away, I think that maybe, look, if you'd have lost that to Bolton Wanderers at the second game of the season, not knowing what you know now about them, I think you might not be as erratic about it. And Lincoln standards for the last 12 months under Michael Scabala has been up there. He's slightly dipped. I do agree on the substitutions. I think away at Huddersfield that he cost Lincoln City the game. I thought Dom Jeffrey should have come on for Rico Hackett. I thought as much as Rico did very well in a forward area, that first or second half they changed. They were pinning you in, and Rico is not a wing back. It's like Phoenix Patterson. Brilliant when you need a goal and offers you something, but you're very balanced. You got 10, you kind of got a back 3, 10 die here and Rico up there. So you've kind of got to go to a back 4 when you're in attack because of Rico's ability to bomb the channel. Dom Jeffries is a solid left wing back and defensively is much better than Rico Hackett. And at 2-1 up, I think you would have saw out the game, if I'm honest with you. That's just my opinion. I think that, look, when you win, take it on the chin, be happy, don't get too high. But when you lose, don't get too high.
Unfortunately, Ben, I get too high and I get too low.
Yeah, I told Tom
you look
this.
at the show that we did from a year ago after we had just lost to Northampton.
Yeah,
I was literally on the floor. So
yeah, exactly.
You know what,
And for me, I came out of the ground yesterday and away at Barrow, probably for me the most calming. I'm very if we lose a ball to a throw and I'll lose my head, and people go say it's on there. What, your head? Because I'll lose it. I'm frustrated. I mean, as soon as the whistle goes, I'm right. That's that. I was gutted that Fleetwood didn't win the game yesterday, but it's football at the end of the day. But still a long way to go. Bolton Wanderers yet again don't play to the standards you want, but get a result. The big test about Bolton Wanderers is when they play the sides above them for the rest of the year. There's still pressure. That's one good performance, but their pressure is back on them. It really is. And, there's still some tough games. The next 5 games, they've got Mansfield away, Exeter away, which are 2 really tough games, Rotherham away, so 3 away games. Then you've got to go home to Cambridge and home to Charlton. Realistically, I think they should probably be, if they can get something on the border of 11 points from those 5 games, I think possibly get a point away at Exeter and Rotherham and win the rest. I think there's pressure on there as well. We will go
turn the heating off, Ben.
Well, okay. Thanks for that, mate. We'll go to we'll go to Bristol Rovers away at Stevenage. Calderon's first game. No es un buen Saganto. Not a good start. There you are. I'm learning my Spanish. Saganto, not a good Saganto. As Calderon says, hola to Bristol Rovers, and Stevenage win by 3-0. Stevenage seem to score all their goals in piles, don't they? But again, it's a victory for them, and they're actually in decent fettle. They've won 3 of the last 5, drawn 1, lost the other. But again, it's their 8th victory of the season. They're only, you look at it, 8 points off the playoffs, and they're 9 points above the bottom area where you expect Stevenage to be. I think Charlie Keegan put a great comment up a few weeks ago. If Stevenage hadn't had that season from last year, would they be as on Alex Ravel now? And I don't think they would be. It's a solid start. For Bristol Rovers, they are in trouble. They're now just 1 place above the bottom 4, 2 points above. They've only scored 19 goals, which is, I think only Stevenage in the division have scored fewer. Even CRAWLEY have scored 5 more. Cambridge have scored 2 more. Shrewsbury have scored 4 more. And Burton have scored 1 less, and they've got 13 points. They've now lost 5 of the last 6. They are in deep, deep trouble. And they've got, next up, they've got Richie Wellens, LEYTON, ORIENT, who have kept 7 clean sheets on the bounce.
So, your Bristol Rovers will probably win 1-0 against Leyton Orient. So, we'll...
yeah. Welcome.
You're welcome, Bristol Rovers. Yeah, no, they were poor yesterday, Bristol Rovers. They weren't in the game whatsoever. Stevenage are a very, very good side at home. Always have been since getting promoted. I wouldn't be surprised if that home record is up there with the very best over the last sort of calendar year or so. So, it was to be expected. Bristol Rovers didn't create anything of note. Stevenage, like you mentioned, they can create and score at home. And I think having JB Reid back in the team has massively helped them. I know he didn't start the season, so him coming back in is the main focal point. And you've got Dan Kemp, who's probably been their best player so far this year, Jordan Roberts, Elliot List, all getting themselves involved in some capacity. It's really, really good for Stevenage. And, you say they're 8 points off the playoffs, Ben. Well, they'll be feeling if they can continue the vein of form in which they're on, then they stand a chance of maybe, mounting a challenge for them. Calderon's got a big job on his hands.
Yeah.
Really big job. They lack ideas going forward. And when they get into those forward positions, they can't take the chances. And, we said about Promise on Cherry. He's the starting number 9, so he will take a lot of the fall. But I don't think it's just him that the burden should lay on. I think you're looking at players like Scott Sinclair, who's so experienced and played at the highest level in the Champions League and for Manchester City and Celtic. Hutchinson, I can understand because he's taken a step up from the league below to come and play in this level for the first time. Ford, it was hot at the start of the season and he's completely fallen off. and they're playing McCormick as a deep line midfielder. For me, Ben, Luke McCormick is a number 10, not a deep sitting midfielder. So if I was Bristol Rovers, I'd be thinking about maybe freshening up that front line, getting a little bit more potency in there. Maybe you can nab a striker that's maybe already scored 5 or 6 goals so far this season. Crikey, Newcastle 2-0 up away at Man United already. Dad is not going to be. Dad's not going to be happy whatsoever. Yeah, they need some big work. You know, if you Bruno, Calderon, you may be trying to lose your links for Brighton, see if there's any young kids coming out of there. But they're in some trouble, Bristol Rovers, and I really do feel for the fans because they're a club similar in size to us. You know, they should really be middle of the road, League One, trying to push for a return to the Championship, but it's just so mismanaged off the pitch. It's scary, and you know the leaks that come out, they're not run like a proper football club, Ben, and that's what concerns me. They're slowly sleepwalking their way back into League Two, and to be honest, Ben, they're probably far too big for that level. So yeah, it's tough for Bristol Rovers. They'll be worried about the drop, absolutely. Stevenage, they'll be dreaming of potentially a top 6 berth, but I can't quite see it.
You say that, and I said all that the other day when he got appointed, or when nothing's going to change. And Joey Barton actually put something quite interesting. He said he can't say anything until the end of January until he's paid up, but he's going to put something out, I think, as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he says there as well. And like I say, going back to Man United, it's not just people that pick up points there, Jake. August as well, yeah. You pick up points there as well, don't you, boy? If you could like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, become a member. I uploaded a members video yesterday, 2 days ago. $1.99. You get 4x videos per month. There's 28 on the channel. Become a member down below. Just click the link. It really does help me.
How many mentions did I get? 5, 6, 7, 8?
3 or 4. Yeah, it was just
9.
a general chit over Christmas. You get to see a more relaxed version of me. So if you want to fancy joining as a member, it will be very much appreciated. As well, Wrexham 2, Wigan Athletic 1. Jesus was born again at Christmas. I think Stephen Fletcher was the one born at Christmas. He has won Wrexham some points over Christmas. That's 4 points gained over Christmas for him. And an unbelievable little run for them now. 2-2-1 victories at home against Blackpool, and then a 2-1 victory against Wigan Athletic. Hugill again responding to Barney's goal. And everything you saw about Wrexham yesterday is what they're good at. Getting the balls out wide, crossing into the box and causing dangers. Barnett drives into the box, puts the ball into an area. It takes a bit of a deflection, but goes into the goal. That's why he gets so many goals and so many assists. He has only scored twice. He scored against Mansfield in that 1-0 victory about 6-8 weeks ago, where I thought Mansfield were outstanding on the day and could have had more, but Wrexham won that game of football. Wigan responded, and in the 91st minute, Wrexham just sucked the ball into the back of the net. And it's a really good response. That's 35 points now at home collected for Wrexham in their opening 13 home league matches this season, winning 11, drawing 2. Their best such start to a campaign in the top 4 divisions since the 1969-70 season, where they also got 35 points from 13 home matches. Jake, superb victory from Wrexham. It was the first meeting since February 2002. And, well, in the league, that is. They played each other in the cup recently as well, last season as well. And Wigan Athletic, before this, had won the final league game in 3 of the last 4 calendar years. Normally quite good. They beat Carlisle 2-0 at home last year. But in this one, lost 2-1 at the racecourse.
Yeah. Yeah, Wrexham probably weren't at their vintage best yesterday, but still to beat a team who have been in decent nick like Wigan over the last couple of weeks is still pretty impressive. Like you mentioned, getting the ball out wide with Barnett and McLean on the other side, and balls into the box where they start with Palmer and Mullin, but they bring on Fletcher and Lee, and they ultimately the pair of them can help change the game. Yeah, they weren't vintage, but they still got the job done against a pretty decent Wigan side who have been pretty tough to get past so far this season. They're one of the best defences in the league until a couple of weeks ago, I believe. So, yeah, I think Wigan, based on the chances across the game, can feel a little bit hard done by. I think Wrexham They hit their own crossbar. The goalkeeper, nearly threw one in as well. As the comments reliably inform me, Sean Maloney said he had nothing bad to say about his team's performance. He was really happy with the way that they played. There were just
Sounds
moments
a bit like your performance at Bolton. Your reaction, really happy.
Yeah, I was thrilled. Yeah, he says he couldn't ask any more of the players. So you got to go to Wrexham and give your all and try and get a result. But sometimes a team like Wrexham, with the resources and the players that they've got, they're gonna be able to one up you. And yesterday it was a case. We got in for Wigan that it came so late in the day. But yeah, like you say, 35 points from a possible 39 for Wrexham at home is outstanding. And we say if your team wants to get automatically promoted, you're looking at 50 points at home. Realistically, they're almost there, Ben, and we're not even in 2025 yet. So yeah, really, really good for Wrexham. Fantastic. They're just churning out wins at the moment. They feel a little bit like Pompey last year. Maybe not 100% every week, but still winning games and winning them late as well. Hey?
Especially at home as well.
Especially at home. They feel a lot like Pompey. I don't know if they'll win the league like Portsmouth went on and did, but they do remind me of the Pompey side an awful lot. So, yeah, really, really good for Wrexham. Wigan, I wouldn't be too disappointed. They played well by all accounts, but, games against Wrexham where, they're right down. They're in the top two now. It's difficult to judge Wigan on a game like that. So if it, like Charlie says there, if they play against teams lower down with less ability than Wrexham, they're going to pick up a few points. So yeah, nothing to be too alarmed about if you're Wigan Athletic.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And I like this Wrexham team. It's got togetherness, it's got experience, it's got youthfulness, it's got players coming through from their academy, and a lot to like as well. A lot to like is Reading as well, who also won by 2-1 at home. They weren't even favourites. They were 2-1 at home for this. They were, for me, my home banker. No offence to Mansfield. Kamara opening the scoreline. Evans as well, and Telebinden getting the winner as well. 13,000 supporters inside the Madstad as well. Fast, energetic, good game of football. This between two decent sides as well. Liked it a lot. A lot to like about both sides this year. I think Mansfield have been a breath of fresh air to the division, but Reading are stronger and are up there, for a reason. It was the first meeting for over 31 years as well. And Mansfield have failed to win any of their last 25 league games against Reading. Drawing 4, losing 21, netting just 4 goals across their last 13 matches as well. And 5 of Reading's last 7 matches going into the calendar year before this have ended in draws. So finally they turned a draw into a victory in their final game of this year as they end an unbelievable year at home, as they've been one of the best teams in the EFL at home, statistically.
Yeah, like you say, Ben, it was pretty much a home banker, wasn't it, really? Reading to win yesterday, and they followed suit, really. Good performance, like you mentioned. Mansfield not particularly troubling them. I know they had a lot of the ball, a lot of shots, but a lot from outside the area and went wayward. Reading much more clinical with their shots, 35% possession. But they did the job. Noel Hunt seems to be getting a tune out of this Reading group. They're in the playoffs now. I watched them a week ago and I thought they were abject and really, really poor. But they're now on 37 points in 22 games. They've got a game in hand on Stockport and can overtake them. So, for Reading to be sat in the playoffs going into 2025 is a really big achievement. And yes, you can talk about the work that Ruben Sellers has done, but you have to give a lot of credit to this group of players. And they're a young group as well, particularly young. This Mamadi Kamara fella, I watched him last week, and I thought he was only about 12. He looked like he was fresh out of doing his SATs or it literally looked a lot like you, Ben. Looked only a young lad, but yeah, I think he scored the other day against Northampton as well, didn't he? So that's 2-2 for him now. So he's slowly acclimatising to the world of men's football. But great win for Reading. Mansfield got beat them, but they're still 11th in the league. They're still, if they win the games in hand on Stockport, they can catch them. So Mansfield are still in the hunt for the playoffs, in my opinion. They're still in and amongst it. They need a really good January, I think, to sustain it. but it's been a really good first half of the season for Stags fans. And Reading, it just continues to get better. I know they were abject last week, but back-to-back wins over the festive period has shut people right up. So yeah, Reading will be. They've won half their games, Ben. If you win half your games over the course of the season, you finish in the top 6. So if Reading can keep that up under Noel Hunt, they stand a chance, definitely.
I just worry about away from home, and I know they've improved this year, but I do think you need the basis of a good team. I think if you want to enter the top 6, you're looking at around 75 points, aren't you? I know 1 year, I think Plymouth got 80 and didn't get in. It was 83 that got 6th, where Plymouth lost 5-0 to MK Dons, where Scott Twine got 4. And obviously they ended up losing to Wycombe in the thing, and Sunderland went up that year. But as they beat Sheffield Wednesday and then Wycombe. But you look at it, if they can get 46 points at home, 29 away, they're not far off. They are not far off. I just think that they're probably 5 or 6 points off, but they've still got a spirit that not a lot of other teams have got. There's 60 people in the chat, and over 50% of people that watch these shows, whether it's live or back, aren't subscribed yet. So if you could just press subscribe as well, it would mean a lot. It really helps me out. And also press like as well, because that brings other people into the stream. It is so free to do so, and it would help me out a lot. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, get commenting, get subscribed, and get liking as well. Leyton Orient are liking life at the minute. They've won 4-0, they've won 3-0, now they've won 2-0. Are they going to win 1-0 on New Year's Day to keep up the trend? 7 clean sheets in all competitions, as Leyton Orient are putting on a show. Into the top 10 now at Leyton Orient. 9 wins, winning 5 of their last 6, 28 goals scored, 6 points off 5th. Like I said, so you look at it. Stockport, Reading, Barnsley, Bolton Wanderers, CHARLTON, Leyton Orient, Mansfield, Lincoln City, Exeter. 6 points separate them, and they've all played either 21, 22 or 23 matches. Leyton Orient have actually got a game in hand on Stockport County, side that they actually beat 4-1 earlier this year as well. Richard Williams has had to adapt at times this year and really had to go a different way. But when you've got players like O'Neill, who can score goals for football, Donnelly, Kelman, very vital yesterday as well. And we all know about the likes of Dan Adji, who's been outstanding for them over the years as well. I thought Ball and Brown in midfield as well. Galbraith at right back, you touched on the other day as well. He's slipping in there nicely as well. Beckles and Simpson at the back. And again, Cambridge didn't really threaten them, and Cambridge can go through these spells of they can win 2 in a row, but then can go and stink the gaff out a little bit. 2 shots on target yesterday. Leyton Orient weren't at their brilliant best, but got the job done, Jake. Another win, 16 points from 18 available, which is just ridiculous when you look at it. They got 15 from their previous 16 games. They've got more points in their last 6 games than they did in the previous 15.
Yeah, they're good, Ben, and even when Orient lost, they still, they were in the games, weren't they? They've not really been battered so far this year. They've always got the ball in the right areas, and it's just not fallen for them. But all of a sudden, we say in football, your luck can change, within a blink of an eye, and it's changed for them over the last 3 or 4 weeks massively, and they're getting in these areas, and they're converting and they're scoring. I think a big part of that has been Donnelly playing in that attacking midfield role. He's been fantastic since signing on loan from Tottenham, I think it is. He's a really good, young, exciting player to add to the vibrant group that they've already got at Leyton. You're thinking young players, Ollie O'Neill, Charlie Kelman already in the team, Ethan Galbraith, Jack Curry at left back, Josh Keeley also on loan from Tottenham in goal, who does have a goal in him as well from the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, they're slowly but surely clicking into a very, very good team, Leyton Orient. And we've said before, Ben, when we talk about Richie Wellens, when they win, the football looks absolutely scintillating and they look $1 million. Whereas when they lose, perhaps it goes a little bit stale and it doesn't look great. So, the last couple of weeks have looked fantastic and have won games in completely different ways as well. For Cambridge, I don't know. I watched Ads' video of his vlog, his experience of the game. Yeah, they weren't in it whatsoever. Orient didn't get out of second gear and bossed it from start to finish. really. But you look at that team the last couple of weeks, Ben, they've all sort of stepped up for Cambridge, haven't they? And Lunderloo, Kachunga, Stokes, he's coming back from injury now. He should probably play a massive part between now and the end of the season if they're going to stay up. Corey Smith has done really well as well. He's chipped in with a couple of goals. So, look, Cambridge, I think that they're in a decent position considering the start of the season that they had. I know they're still in the bottom four, but they're only 5 points away from safety. And we're talking about a Bristol Rovers team that are in absolute free-for-all. Northampton that can't particularly do a lot. I think, to be honest, Ben, I think it's 4 from 6 at the bottom. I know we'll talk about the table a little bit later, but it's 4 from 6. And Cambridge have only got to be better than, Cambridge have probably just got to outdo CRAWLEY. I think they can do. The players that they've got in the squad are League One ready and League One certified, whereas you look at CRAWLEY and Bristol Rovers, perhaps the inexperience of their squads they're gonna pay. So yeah, it's great for Leyton Orient. They're winning games of football frequently. Cambridge, they're still in it, Ben. I think after 9 games, if you'd have said to me that you'll only be 5 points away from safety in 10 games' time, I think they probably would beat your arm off for it.
100%. Thank you very much for the nice message, John. We'll come back to some of these questions in a bit. We will come back to that. Don't worry, Greg. I mean, we'll have a look at the table as well. Kind of coming on to the draws now. Rotherham 1, Stockport 1. Louis Barry nearly scored an absolute unbelievable solo goal, but then also scored an unbelievable solo goal because he's Louis Barry, and that's what he does. And since joining Stockport County in July 2023, Louis Barry has netted 24 Sky Bet League One and League Two goals in just 43 matches. That's an average of 0.69 goals per game per 90 minutes. The third amongst any EFL player to struck 10 plus goals in that time. Behind, who do you think they're behind? One's in League One and one's in League Two.
So what is it? Sorry,
goals. So goals per game, basically.
Goals per game. What players?
Goals per 90.
What this in 2024?
Yeah.
Or this season?
This season. That was since 2023, last year.
Oh, I was going to say Nathan Lowe, but he was only played half a year.
One scored yesterday in League One. We've already discussed him. He's in good form. He scored the winner yesterday for his club.
Oh.
Scored 2 and 2.
What, Stephen Fletcher?
Correct. And one's in League Two. And this team, in my opinion, have the best strike force in the division.
Oh, well, it will be Jatta.
Yeah, correct. Well done. Again, that just shows you. And Rotherham United have actually just kept 4 clean sheets across their 21 games this year. That is not
Steve
Steve
Evans' 5
side.
yesterday, didn't they?
What?
They scored 5 yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, well, yeah. We're going back to League One because this is a League One show. I never talk about League Two.
Sorry, Nappers. So I just wanted to make you feel included. That was all.
Rotherham United have 4 clean sheets. That's not a Steve Evans side. However, what is a Steve Evans side? His corners.
He's winning on New Year's Day.
Yeah, he's being good from corners and being good resolutely. However, when the corner, is he offside? Because for me, he's offside by about 2 yards.
Who? A Dolphin? Is that what you mean? I don't know, but I'm not. To be honest, Ben, today is the first day I've done what I would call a Jack Ward and not seen anything.
A Dolphin is basically in an offside position, basically.
Okay, if he's offside, I trust that one of your eyes has got it right. So I'm.
Pot kettle black, mate.
Yeah, I'm trusting that one of your eyes has got it right.
Of course, yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool. But no, they're just not a Steve Evans side. And look, Louis Barry's been sensational. We know that. And it's a good point to them. It really is a good point. And I know they've not been at the fruitful best. 3 defeats, 2 wins, and a draw in the last 7. Still won 10 games. It's still 37 points. Losing Louis Barry is going to be a sucker punch, but it's how they respond. But I think other players in that team will think we are not just a one-man team. Alofai up front, Wharton's good play, Norwood, Bailey, Torre, I like as well. And they've got the likes of, Jack Diamond as well. Jay Mingy's a good player as well. They've got decent players, but they're not going to be Louis Barry, are they? No one can replace Louis Barry at this level.
They're going to find it tough, aren't they? but they've signed this lad from Iceland, so he's scored a load of goals over there. I know it's a significantly different division, but he might well step into that left wing spot and make Louis Barry look pretty average. But yeah, no, he's been a joy to watch. I remember him coming to the bank I think it was at the end of October, and you could tell that Louis Barry had something about him. Really, really good, really tricky, really agile, caused so many issues for so many defenders this year. And Stockport are going to have to do really well if they're going to replace him, which I can understand why people think that this Stockport team are going to drop off and maybe not finish inside the playoffs. But like you mentioned, Ben, they've still got lots of very good attacking talent on the bench. And this Stockport County are a club at the moment that are recruiting incredibly well. So you'd back whoever it is in charge of the recruitment at Stockport to bring in somebody who's going to add as big an impact as Louis Barry. And you've also, like you say, Ben, like you put so eloquently there, they've got so many threats from all over the pitch. If it's not Louis Barry, it's Isaac Alafe, and if it's not him, it's Carl Wootton or Jack Diamond or Mingy or it's Ollie Norwood scoring from 30 yards. So they've got lots and lots of different ways of scoring goals. So I don't quite see the drop-off quite as steep. But yesterday is a good point for them. Rotherham have been pretty good at home, certainly in the last month or so. They've picked up a lot of wins there against Lincoln, against Northampton, against teams that you'd maybe expect them to beat. So, yeah, it's a good point on the road. Maybe Rotherham would be disappointed that they had Stockport there for the taking. I know they had double the shots, but they would have felt that once they had equalised, they perhaps had the momentum in the game, but they weren't able to go and force the issue. So they ended up in a draw. But yeah, it's difficult, Ben. I've not seen the game, so it's difficult to comment. But you'd imagine it's probably a better point for Rotherham than it is for Stockport based on the league table.
Shrewsbury 1, Northampton 1, two sides in the bottom half and scrapping at their way. But that's 5 points from their last 3 games for the Salop. Cameron McGeehan's strike just 3 minutes after Shrewsbury opened the scoring was enough for a point. A decent point that stopped Shrewsbury making ground up on their host as well. A good point. It really was a good point for Northampton away. For Shrewsbury, they'll be disappointed because if they would have won that game of football after going a goal up, they could have gone to 18 points, 3 behind Northampton, and potentially just 4 behind Bristol Rovers as well. But it's a solid return. And again, the next few games are vital for them. It wasn't a classic, this one, but still plenty of work to be done for both sides as well. Shrewsbury actually did provide a league double over Northampton last year. It was Paul Hurst's first game away at Sixfields as well, if you remember as well. And Northampton won 3 of their previous 5 games against Shrewsbury going into this as well. And that was more than their previous 20 games combined, where they lost 15 of which.
Yeah, 2 poor teams going up against each other yesterday. This one looked like not a lot of quality. So when Shrewsbury opened the scoring on the hour mark, you could understand that maybe you think that they'd go on and win the game, not convincingly, like I maybe thought in the prediction. Maybe that was a bit reactionary after watching them beat us on Boxing Day.
You are very reactionary, aren't you?
No, it doesn't sound like me, Ben. That doesn't sound like me. And given how I said earlier in the show that Shrewsbury are one of the worst teams you want to go a goal down to, Northampton made me completely look like an absolute mug by scoring just 3 minutes later. Not a lot of chances in this one, so it felt like any goal would be crucial. Both able to find a way on the score sheet. For Northampton, I think it's a better point because they can keep Shrewsbury at arm's length. Shrewsbury need to start winning games and need to start winning games a lot quicker if they're going to have any chance of getting out of that bottom 4, which I don't ultimately think they do. But yeah, no, for Kevin Nolan, it's the first point of the Kevin Nolan era. But if you're Shrewsbury, you take 4 points over the festive period so far, don't you? Lincoln at home, Northampton at home. You maybe thought the points would come in a slightly different manner, but points are points. They've got themselves, just slotted up behind Cambridge, and they've still got to play each of those bottom sides still between now and the end of the season. So their fate, Ben, is still technically in their hands if they can beat some of the teams down there with them, rather than get a point next time. Then we might be talking about a Shrewsbury team that can commit the great escape.
Yeah, 100%. And talk about the great escape, Burton Albion. We're maybe thinking this could be an unbelievable away victory when Charlie Webster, well, he asked the goalkeeper, do you want any sauce with that chip
We
as well
chip.
over.
I
Yeah,
saw this
exactly. A bit.
one. I did see this
Yeah,
goal.
yeah. A bit like the goal for Barnsley away at Peterborough as well. No, a bit like the CHARLTON goal away at home to Wycombe as well. But again, Heelett getting the goal as well. It's a great response for Huddersfield. It gets slow but surely. If they don't win the game, they're drawing the game. They'll be frustrated that the last 2 home games, if they've gone behind early in the game as well, not starting games well, which isn't Duff-like. But 13 wins, 4 draws, 5 defeats from 22 games, 43 points, 5 off Wrexham with a game in hand as well, and only 4 off Wycombe now as well. But a 6-point gap between Stockport in the 4th and 5th, but that's as many points between 5th and 13th as there is in 5th and 4th. So it just shows you that there is a little bit of a gap there between those two sides. And what I've been saying for weeks, that top 4 in my eyes are a lot better than the others as well. I'm not even going to let one defeat for Wycombe slide that. For Burton Albion, look, it's disappointing that you've not won the game. It's only 2 wins in 22. But you look at it, it's a decent point away from home against a good side. They'd have taken it before the game. They've closed the gap. When you look at it, that all the sides around them didn't win. I think the bottom 10 bar Shrewsbury the other day lost. You look at sides around them that you think are in trouble. Peterborough lost. Bristol Rovers lost. Cambridge lost. Shrewsbury drew at home to Northampton. And then CRAWLEY got a 4-4. It's a decent point game for them. Are they still in the mix? I'm unsure at this moment in time. But for Huddersfield, good battling point.
Did you see who Huddersfield wheeled out to do the post
Yeah,
match?
I saw that. Yeah, it was just because he had to do it because Duff got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I thought it was hilarious. That
I didn't
Martin
watch the
Patterson,
interview. Did he have any of the non-negotiables?
Look, Ben, Huddersfield had a great week in training. They did the non-negotiables all week. Yeah, no. Look, Burton got off to a really good start. Charlie Webster, like you mentioned, whether he means it or not, quite to hit the way that he did. But look, he looks like a really good player. I know he got sent off stupidly a couple of weeks ago, but he's slowly but surely turning his way into a decent little League One midfielder. And perhaps clubs maybe might look at him if Burton get themselves relegated as someone that they can turn around and be a decent player at this level. He's certainly got the potential, having come through at Chelsea. What I think is a really big turning point in this game, particular, Ben, is that 1-0 to Burton. They had a great chance to make it 2. Danilo Orsi at the back post. I can sympathise with him. I think if the player I don't know who it is that's playing it across to him, I didn't have the angle, but if they can zip it along the floor, I think Danilo Orsi scores. But because it's in the air and it's an awkward height for him, I think it's a difficult one for him, but he misses it, and it feels a lot like a turning point in the game, massively, because we've seen Huddersfield Bennett certainly in person how that crowd can get behind them, and they just keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming. They had chances, and Crocombe had to make a couple of saves. They got away with 1 or 2, and eventually the pressure tells. In Huddersfield, they're just very good, aren't they? When they go behind, they just continually pressurise, and they got the reward through Halleck. Great assist from Ben Wiles. It's a thumping header. Terence Van Kooten obviously getting sent off. I think that's a bit of a nightmare for him. But it's a good point, like you say. Like I said, Ben, when we went to Huddersfield, would you take a point before kickoff? Absolutely. Would you take a point away at Huddersfield? Being 1-0 up for 70 minutes, I don't think you probably would. So it is tough. It's a bit of a sucker punch, especially because Burton would have, certainly would have made ground if they had won. But like you say, Ben, 2 wins in 22. You're looking at Burton going to need to win probably 10 games of the last 23 to stay up realistically.
David kept saying, and this is nothing on David because I did this exact same thing last year, right? Up to about 15 games where, if I'm honest with you, my whole heart, I knew we were down, and I tried to come across it thinking that we got a chance, and maybe I believed it. With about 6-8 games, I think we can do this. And we're only 3 points off in the end, but you look at it, they'll be saying, look, 45 points to survive. We only need 32 points from 24 games. that sounds doable. You've got 13 from 22. So it could change. And I like the appointment of Gary Bowie. I think he's a solid pair of hands. It's like having your granddad in charge of the football. It might be a bit of fun, you never know as well. Still a bit of a while in the show to go. We've still got one game to go. For the first time ever in League One live history, and hopefully for the last time, for the sake of my viewerships, Birmingham City 0, Blackpool 0. A very good point away for Blackpool. Steve Bruce makes his return to St Andrews in a stalemate, 0-0. Lee Buchanan suffered a bit of a bad injury as well, which is never nice to see as well. Made a block, knee injury. And there was a kind of a 5-6 minute display and taken off on a stretch, which is never nice as well. And if I'm honest with you, I do think that might have had an effect on the game, if you get what I mean by that. I think that because he went off so early in the game, I remember when Zet Medley went off injured against Gillingham earlier this year for us, and the whole stadium went flat because we knew we lost a big player for us, and the team went flat because they'd lost one of the brothers, Lee Buchanan, who you look at the names, he's a very good player, but you think about Iwata, Paik Sung Ho knows the place to go. Willem Williamson, Alfie May, Hansen, Stansfield, Bielik Clara, are all probably named you'd mention above him. Do you know what I mean? Ben Davis as well, outstanding as well. He's not a massive name, but I think him coming off injured maybe had an effect on Birmingham's rhythm in the game. They never really got going. But look, it's 49 points, which is a phenomenal return. It really is. And Blackpool had chances. Fletcher probably should have scored his one-on-one where he puts it over the bar, tries to lob Ryan Allsop. Carl Joseph hits the inside of a post from a tight angle. So Blackpool, there's positives. It's two really good performances against Wrexham and Birmingham, who are the top two. And realistically, they should come away with 2 points, but they've come away with 1. Before that, they'd won the previous 3 away games. There's a lot of positives at Blackpool. They're 8 points above the drop. They're 9 off the playoffs. I think Blackpool should be trying to finish where LEYTON Orient are, but LEYTON Orient are only 3 points in front of them, on the same games played as well. So still a long way to go for Blackpool. For Birmingham, 49 points. And again, another point gain, another clean sheet, and still, unbeaten at home.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say, Ben, you're just disappointed that Birmingham aren't on 50 points by New Year's Day, aren't you? It's pathetic, really, that Birmingham City aren't on 50 points already.
Davis
not
out.
good enough.
Davis
should
out.
be sacked. Absolutely, mate. I don't have a lot to say on the game, Ben, because there wasn't a lot of highlights to watch. However, I do want to follow you in paying tribute to Lee Buchanan. He's a lad that I know quite well from his time at Derby in the 18s when I covered them when I was at university. And he was always a really nice lad and a really good footballer. It was always clear to me that he would go on and have a professional career elsewhere. I think he went out to Germany, didn't he, to Werder Bremen from Derby, and it didn't quite work for him there. So he's come back to Birmingham. Look, he's a really nice kid. He's only just come back from injury. I know how much this will hurt him. He's only just come back, got himself in the team, and all of a sudden, it's a really nasty leg injury. I don't know if you've seen the still, Ben, of it. It looks awful.
Yeah.
So, look, I doubt Lee's watching. I doubt Lee will remember who I am, but I'd just like to send our well wishes on to him because he's a really talented footballer and certainly someone that I can see making a step into the Championship with Blues next year. He's a very talented left back. And hopefully he comes back fit and firing. If we get to see him before the end of the season, great. If not, hopefully has a good recovery and we see him next season playing for Birmingham in a Championship. So, yeah, just wanted to pass my notes on to Lee, a really talented footballer and also a very nice guy. It's not very nice to see what's happened to him.
Predictions.
Oh, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
So, you're first this week, Ben, but let me remind you that just a couple of weeks ago, the gap was like, what, nearly 30 points?
It wasn't 30 points.
It was more than 20.
20.
It was about 25,
21
right?
points.
So last week, Boxing Day games, you did better than me. So you got 10 points and I got 7, which meant that you were going into yesterday's fixtures, you were on 182 and I was on 170, right? Yet Yeah, the game week last week, I managed to pull 1, 2, 3 correct scores, right? So I got 13 points this week for the games on the 29th. Do you know how many points you got?
1.
4. So as it stands, Ben 186, Jake 183. So it's we are getting closer.
What's the punishment?
We need to have this. Maybe next time you come to me, or maybe I'll come up to Fleetwood. Actually, I think I should come to Fleetwood because it's my turn to make the trick, isn't it? So we'll discuss it maybe over Nando's or something. We can figure it out. You're first, Ben? So would you like the Would you like? We're doing a show after New Year's, aren't we?
Yeah, we will be doing. So subscribed, people. Please subscribe and like.
We're doing another show. I've had 2 weeks off work and I've done 4 shows for Nappers. Genuinely, I've earned my Wembley ticket this week. I'm telling you, I've earned it. Right, Ben, you start. First game: CRAWLEY versus CHARLTON at CRAWLEY.
CRAWLEY 1, CHARLTON 2.
I'm going to go CRAWLEY 2, CHARLTON 2. Desmond. Okay. Everyone's favourite speed camera, Bristol Rovers are playing against LEYTON Orient at the Mem.
Bristol Rovers 2, LEYTON Orient 1.
That's a big call. That's quite a call. Bristol Rovers 1, LEYTON Orient 1, I think. Absolutely so. Blackpool, Ben, against Shrewsbury.
He's tired, going to get lobbed from 60 yards out again. Blackpool 2, Shrewsbury 0.
I'm going to go Blackpool 2, Shrewsbury 1.
Right, Charlie Keegan.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Charlie, we must stop meeting like this. Cambridge versus Reading at the Abbey.
Cambridge against who?
Reading, Ben.
2-1 ding.
I'm going to go 1-0 Cambridge. Reading are awful away from home.
Right.
This is one that I wish it wasn't happening, but it is. Lincoln versus Rotherham.
1-1.
That's what I had. I'm going to be positive. Lincoln 1, Rotherham 0. Barnsley versus Wrexham at Barnsley.
2-1 Barnsley.
I'm going to reverse that and go 2-1 Wrexham. Burton against Peterborough United.
Why do you think I'm being very why do you think I'm being very, very quick? I've missed a bunting masterclass as well. 4-0 and all of it.
Through, is he? Bunting?
Yeah. That's him in
Burton,
the Premier League,
Peterborough. Burton, Peterborough, mate.
Burton, Peterborough. 2-1 Burton. Staying up, baby.
I'm going to... Peterborough to do the opposite to Burton as to what they did the other week. Burton 0, Peterborough 1. Northampton versus Stevenage at Cobblers.
2-1 Stevenage. No, 2-1 Northampton. Sorry.
I'm going to go 1 each. Mansfield versus Bolton at the 1 call.
Bolton.
Oh, I'm gonna go 2-1 Bolton. Stockport versus Birmingham. Louis Barry's last ever game for Stockport. It might not be his last ever game.
Stockport Birmingham.
No, Aston Villa have allowed him to play against their arch rivals, which is really good of them, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic.
What's your prediction, Ben?
2-0 Blues.
I'm going
Go
to
on,
go
say
3.
3-0. Say 3-0. Go on, say 3-0.
All right, well, 3-0 Blues. Wigan versus Huddersfield, Ben.
If you get 3 points with that, I'll be fuming. Who against Huddersfield?
Wigan.
Ooh. 2-1 Huddersfield.
I'm going to back a draw, 1 each. And to wrap it up, Wycombe at home against Exeter.
2-1 Wycombe.
Do you remember this was this the opening game of the season last season? And
Yeah.
Exeter was like
Exeter were 3-0 up after like.
Yeah,
15
Jack
minutes.
Aitchison scored the first goal of the League One season, didn't he?
Yeah,
After
in a minute.
seconds.
He scored a winner against us a
Wycombe.
few years ago for Barnsley.
What did you go? 2-1 Wycombe, 2-0 Wycombe. I'm going to go for.
Yeah. I went
They are
2-1
then.
Wycombe. I went
Eh?
2-1 Wycombe.
I said 2-0 Wycombe then.
Oh, okay.
No, not.
Any quick questions? Get them in. Did you watch Peter Wright last night?
I have noticed a comment up here from Parmex. 0-0 board draw, but with the longest segment in the next League One Live. Look, mate, get to know, right? I'm here.
What's that?
And it's about Lincoln. So we're going
What's that?
to talk about Lincoln as much as I like.
Comment.
Thank you. Thank
What
you.
comment? Sorry,
There you are.
Parmex, right? I try and treat everybody fair and do the same amount of research on every team. So
Yeah, well, but your team's not in League One.
can I
so
just
you're
say
out
as well,
down the middle.
today, right? I had work. I was in for 8 o'clock. I got out of bed at 20 to 8. But we won't talk about that. I was in early. I was in work till about 4:30. Go for a quick 6K run. Should have been 8. 6K is fine. And then it'll be fine. So I've got to get to my marathon. I'm knackered after about 18 mile. And then I did an upper session at the gym as well, and then come straight home.
Should we reflect on how good 2024 it's been for you, Ben?
Before we do so, what a legend as David becomes a YouTube member. It's been a while since we gave one of these in a stream. David, you legend. If you want to join David, we uploaded a video the other day. You get 4 extra pieces of content per month from Q&As, quizzes, top 10s.
League One Live.
It's more chilled. League One Live. It's a bit more chilled. It's not serious sit-down videos all the time. It's a bit uncut and different things you get to see, unseen bits, how I prepare. I did a video, like half an hour video last year, Wembley trip, a 20-minute video behind the scenes of a tea-flop and this as well. So join as a member. It's $1.99, less than the price of a coffee or a meal deal or a pint, half a pint. Come on, join as a member. Go on. What a year it's been for what?
For you, Ben.
Yeah, mate, it's been brilliant,
year
mate.
Of ups and downs, but I know you got relegated.
Yeah.
But think
team got relegated. Best friend dies. Mother's in hospital. But all that,
the content.
Yeah, content. It's been all right, hasn't it? I'll be honest with you now. I'll happily admit this. League One content. Not a lot of people thought I was going to carry on. I've enjoyed it more than ever. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for people who join in every week. Thank you to Jake who comes on every week as well. Unless he's got a chested cough.
Keeps me relevant, Ben. So that's why I do it.
Unless he's got a chested cough or somebody telling him not to come on the
show. Or if
I've
got a girlfriend that pulls me out at 5 to 8.
Yeah. And you mess me. Sorry, mate. Yeah. But yeah, a massive thank you. I'll be honest with you now and say this now. I haven't enjoyed doing the vlogs in the last 3 months, but people have been getting me through it. So a big thank you for that as well. It was hard when you're at a new league and you've got to adapt to new expectation of viewers. You know, it's not been quite the same level, and it's been hard. I'll happily admit that now, but really enjoy doing the League One shows. You know, I think the highlight of my week, I'll be honest with you, the League One videos, the TikToks I've been doing as well. So a big thank you, a massive thank you, and a big thank you to you as well, Jake.
Thanks, mate. I'm just here because it keeps me relevant, Ben. So
yeah, because the other podcast isn't doing that anymore, is it?
Well, no, it's not. You're right. Yeah, no. Look, I think we've had a good year, Ben. I know it's we're going into 2025 now. We're now going to be closer to the year 2050 than we are to the year 2,000, which is quite alarming.
E2000.
3,000, Ben, not quite.
3,000.
But
I'm changing it. Shut up.
it was, yeah, it's been a good year, Ben. We've had lots. I feel like 2024 has been the best year for League One Lives yet,
Yeah,
because
100%.
because we've gone
Birmingham
from
fans, hello.
yeah, thanks Blues. We've gone from doing an hour
Thanks
show.
for being absolutely atrocious for the last 8 years and getting yourself into this situation. And thank you to the my owners for pumping money in and being good at football at this level. Thank you very much. We couldn't have done it without you.
We've gone from the hour show to the hour and a half show, and what I said, Jonathan Gray.
What a legend. He's been a member a while, as Jonathan, I think, as well. Thank you so much.
For 9 months.
He was one of the. I remember getting the notification about that at uni. Thank you very much for adding a month on as well. Massively appreciate it. I will do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's
appreciate that.
Ignore
legend.
that. Just ignore the comment above that, please. Just ignore that. But yeah, no, it's been a good year, Ben. I think the League One Lives have really stepped up another level. We've enjoyed it. We've done content in person, haven't we? Which has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a good year. And hopefully 2025 we can continue to get better, hopefully grow the audience for these League One Lives, and yeah, we'll see where it takes us. But it's been a lot of fun, Ben, so thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and a big thank you to the viewers as well who tune in. It's not a show without you. You know, you get your questions in, you listen to us, you disagree with us. We disagree with him.
Sorry. Me mainly, yeah.
Yeah. Because you just annoy him, don't you? And just say things that just to rile them up. No, I get comments going, your co-host is this, and this. And yeah, it's like, you know what you do? It's like you get them so rattled before the game that then these like the team come out firing against. We've got to beat Lincoln. Why? Because of him over there in that stand. You do the team. But a big thank you to the viewers as well. And if you would like to see an updated, I'll actually do an updated members video of how I prepare for a show this year, because it's slightly changed. I've gone quite digital now. I do it more on my laptop on my phone now as well, instead of pen and paper. So I'll update that as well. But a massive thank you from me and Jake for everyone that listens in and joins in as well. Every week, it's phenomenal. It really is. I love doing these shows. And I think the good thing is about these shows as well, that I've got I can't miss one now, because it's like it's not really been a game week where I think there's been one where we had 9 games, but I'll join and do, we'll do, if there's a game week that's 6 games, we'll do a show as well. So there's going to be loads of shows before the end of the year. It's not just full game weeks as well. What a legend he is. We couldn't love him. I couldn't love Wigan anymore.
Charlie Keegan is a legend. We'll have to give him.
What a boy.
He is my second favourite host on the Progress with Unity podcast. So, Charlie, after Barry Worthington. How could it not be Barry Worthington?
I remember last year, right, when we played him, I think at the Progress of Unity Stadium, right? And anyway, so he had his dressing gown on. It was like speaking to Neil Warnock. It was chuffing fantastic, wasn't it? I was like,
Barry Worthington is just like the best bloke I've ever met.
And he'd just come off a T-flop, right? And the first thing he goes, oh, I know, because Jake told me to send a message. He goes, that Jake, he's a cracking lad, he's Jake. I went. And he goes, what do you think of Jake? And I went, it rhymes with Rick, and he's got a P in front of it.
Patrick.
He went, I love our Jake. But no, any questions, get them in as well. Thanks. MVG's about to win. Tell you what, so I've got a weird favourite player. My favourite player has always been Callum Reid and Michael Smith. And since he's run it the world a few years ago, Callum Reid, unbelievable. Going on to darts, I got called out for this, right? My Premier League lineup, right, as it stands, Michael Van Gerwen, the 2 Lukes, Luke Littler, Luke Humphries have to be in. They're in the top 4. Rob Cross, as it stands, is in because he's in the top 4. So they are cert. Bunton is now in. Gathering Price is now in for the runs here. And the big names, the fans love Bunton. Price has got to be in. Then I would probably go. It's very tough after that. It really is tough. There's probably 2 spots, if I'm honest with you.
I reckon the lad from Boston's got a shout.
As he bloody hell is like Scott Williams. I don't think that they'll put Michael Smith in this year, and I don't think they should. I know he's a big name, but I think they'll go Nathan Aspinall because he's got to a quarter-final, the walk-on.
And he's got a great walk-on song.
Yeah, he's 10th in the world, and the fans love him as well. And then I think one of Chris Dobie.
Chizzy?
Chris Dobie. or Peter Wright. And I know people will say about Peter Wright having a poor year. It's an exhibition. It's not
He's
about.
also just beaten Luke Humphries, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching today's show. Hope you did enjoy it. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you to those that became members as well. Legend, we should have some content out for you as well. I've said this. How long have I said this? I've said he looks, honestly, if you listen to Scott Williams talk as well, and the way he acts, he's a bit goofy. And
he's from the same county. Of course he sounds, we all look the same. We're all the same in Lincolnshire.
Some geezer. Bar the fact that he goes weird ways. Like on a 9-darter attempt, he goes, I think he goes treble 19, treble 16, no, treble 19, treble 15 for like double 18 or something weird like that. It baffles me. But anyway, thanks for watching. You know,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Whatever you do with it. And hopefully God bless you. See you later. Hope the Sky Bet League One will be back bigger, better, and hopefully with a new co-host in 2025.
Right, I'm off. You little swine.
Tell me tomorrow I'll wait by the window for you.
That was Christmas Day. Although there's meant to be another clip out, isn't there?
No, he's just behind the scenes.
Oh, is it?
You look a bit like Dave Coaches, to be fair. You remind me a bit of him.
Do I? Do I really? I can't tell you who you look like, Ben, or else we'll get cancelled.
I look like the kid from Polar Express. I do, don't I?
Oh, for God's sake.
Let's have a look at it. This is a bit of extra. I'm gonna put it up.
Well, do you want me to do it?
No, it's all right. I've got it, I think.
This kid.
What? Put it on.
I've got it. You got it.
Oh my God.
Share your screen.
Where is it?
Wait there. I'll do it.
Come on.
Wait there.
Hello, we're back.
We're back. Are we back?
We're back. We're on.
Hold on. Let me present.
1:30. You'll get 2 minutes extra. It's like the Nugget. Don't ever switch off a show.
Hold on. Yeah, stay here.
This is the best part of the show, isn't it? When we don't talk football.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh my God. Nappers, pull that face. Look down the camera. Oh, I could just search anything here. Hold on, should we search Cod's vlogs and see what
You're off now.
Cod's vlogs. What happens here? Look. Oh. Here.
Oh my God.
Look at you, poser. Hey?
I know where that went. That went somewhere last year. That was T-flop. Look at that one of me and Tom.
Hold on. Wait there. Oh my Gideon. What is this?
Oh, look at that. The one below it. That one.
This one?
Yeah. I've not seen that before. Silver. Did I win a silver?
No. Thinking hard, look. Rappers, who's this?
What?
Who's this?
Oh no idea.
Look at this. Look at oh. That's about right. That's about the right size. What else have we got, Nappers? Oh! Oh, yes.
We've come a long, long way.
We've come a long, long way.
We've come a long way since that boy. We have. Well, we are off now. Thanks very much for watching. This is what
Bye,
me and him are
everybody.
like.
Have a great New Year.
Twice a week. Happy New Year.
See you later. God, I'm cream crackered.